Hi everyone and welcome to Triple M Adventures with Bill. I had a comment in the comments section of one of my videos for a viewer asking if I could do a video on a full setup of a basic model in the Jumper T16. So here is the video. I've gone from the start to finish where you could actually launch the model and fly it. The only thing I didn't put in there, because the video was getting a bit long, was to setting up expos and yaw rates. So if you would like me to do a video on that, I can do that at a later date. Let's create a fixed wing model on your Jumper T16. Right, first thing we need to do is click the scroll wheel, model select, and then click the scroll wheel again and say create model. Now we're going to set up a plane, so we click and hold the button down. Now yes, does your model have a motor? Yes, it does. What channel is it on? Now it should pick up the correct one, but you need to make sure you know which channel it is. And in my case, it is 3. So then we hit page down. Number of ailerons on your model. That means that you can just use one servo, but most planes now do use 2 servos, one for each wing. So we're going to go with 2, so page down. Does your model have flaps? In this case, it doesn't. No. And then pick the configuration for your tail. So this one is going to be exactly what's on screen. That's 1 channel for the elevators and 1 for the rudder. So click OK. Then you check your channel mapping, which I know is correct. Then just click and scroll to yes, all is well, create plane, and click. OK, model successfully created. Press return to exit. And there we go. So now we need to set up the parameters of this particular model. So if we go return, we're going to come to the model. Now we need to edit this. Now we hit the model button and we'll come up with the first screen. Now what I'm going to do is work my way through these. I may have to dart backwards and forwards if I get the sequence out, but please forgive me, but you're going to see all the screens we need to modify. First thing, let's name our model. Now to name a model, we have to hit the scroll button and we're going into edit. If we scroll, it will go up and down. So I'm going to speed this process up, but I just want to show you how you actually do it in case you're a complete beginner. So here we go. Okay, once you've got the letter you need, you push the scroll button once again and just roll to the next one. Now that's the one I want, the letter I want, so I'm going to scroll again, click the scroll button, then I'm going to roll to the next letter I need. Okay, now this letter I want it to be a capital T. Now the way we do this is go to the T and hold the scroll button down. It will then jump it to a capital. Okay, now I'm probably going to speed up again. Now if you want to go back from capitals to lowercase, hold the button down. And there we go. There's our model named. Push enter. Now we can scroll down. Now we may want to set up a timer. So with quadcopters, obviously you get the telemetry back, so it tells you how your battery condition is. But with fixed wings, of course, we don't normally get that telemetry back on a basic model. So what I'm going to do is set up a timer. So you're going to click the scroll button and we're going to change this to throttle, so that when the throttle's activated, the timer will start. When it's deactivated, it will stop. Click the bottom scroll button, go down, click scroll button at the bottom again, and now we're going to put a time in. Let's just say, oops, let's go to 5 minutes. So you scroll until you get the time that you would like. Okay, 5 minutes, say OK. Then we're going to go down to name. Again, we can put a name in, so let's just go. Okay, I've missed, that's good, I made a mistake, so just keep going round. If you've made a mistake, just keep clicking the button and you'll come back again. So then we are going to go, hold button down to get capital. Timer, click return. Now we can go down. In persistent, we want to put flight And there we go, our timer should be set up. Let's scroll down. We're not going to bind the model yet, we'll do that a bit later. But the only other thing we need to do there is bind. Now, we can move on to the next parameters we have to put into our radio. So we go page. In flight modes, we don't put anything. And in inputs, we are going to need to add in an extra throttle for the previous video that I've put out where I made a safety throttle. So all we do here is we scroll down to throttle, click the scroll button once and say insert after. Click. Okay, then we're just going to leave that for now. So now we've got the 2 throttle settings that we need. Okay. Okay, now we need to move on to the next parameter. So page. Okay, mixes will stay the same. Outputs will stay the same. Okay, curves. This is where we need to set up the curve. Now, this is quite easy to do. We're going to call that, as I did in my previous video, we're going to just call that cut. There we go. Whoopsie daisy, go back in. We are going to change it to 2 points. Oh, just click once, hold the button down, so that's too much. Okay, now we're going to go down to the last 2 options. We have to make both of these figures minus. Whoopsie daisy, and just one click, quickly click, minus 100, move over, click again, and minus. Okay, and we can say enter, enter. Now we've done that. We go to page again, nothing in global variables, logical switches. Now we need to set up the logical switches. One click, and then we are going to say in here, A is smaller than X. So we just scroll until we find that option. There you go. Okay, then the next option, scroll over, we need the throttle. Throttle. The next option is, beg your pardon, that one. We need to click and go minus 98. Oops, too far. Okay, rest of the line stays as it is. So enter, go down. Here we have to choose the option or. There we go. In here we have to choose logical switch 01. So click and scroll. Sometimes you have to go all over the place to find it, but anyway, we will get there. L1. In the second option, we have to pick up L2. Whoops, so there's it. L2. Oops, not the off L2. It's not that one. I have to be careful of that. It has to be that one there. Okay, then you pick your switch, whichever switch it is. So click the scroll button, and then in my case, it's this button here, the arms. There we go. So that's connected. So we can click OK. Let's disarm it again. And then we move over to the second column where we're going to put in the delay. And the delay has to be 0.5. Okay, that is that set up. Okay, let's move on to the next parameters. So click the page button. Special functions. I have a lot of functions on my fixed wings, but I'm only going to go through the timer, the reset timer, and the armed and disarmed, because the aileron dual rates on and the elevator dual rates on are just really copies, because all you're doing is you're playing a track when you operate a switch. So you will be able to set these up without me actually showing you this. So okay, let's go to the first special function. We're going to click the scroll button. Whoops a daisy. Once, go across, click scroll button. Now, this first line I'm going to put in is the reset timer. So this is my reset timer switch. I'm going to click that, then click once on the scroll wheel, scroll across, and in here we are going to find reset. Not reset timer, but reset. Okay. There it is, reset. And it knows we've set up timer 1, and then we're going to activate it. So you scroll across, push your scroll button, now that's activated. Push return. Move down to special function 2. Here we are going to set up reset on the timer so that you know you've actually reset it. So click again, long click, sorry, short click. Okay, click again. Here it's going to be the same switch, so click up, one click across, and then we are going to say play track. Play track. There we go, across, and we switch again, and now we need to find reset. So this can be, when you're doing this on the radio, it's quite difficult to find it, but you get used to knowing whether to go up or down depending on the letter. Sometimes I get it wrong, but let's see if I get it right. Yep, I'm close there. So maybe I should have scrolled the other way. Reset, there we go. Okay, and now we just want it to play once, so we're going to push enter. So if we go reset, there we go, reset. And you can see both special functions activate. Resets timer and it plays. Alrighty, next function is going to be the armed and disarmed. Now, one click. This one relates to, on my radios, this switch here. That is actually armed there, and I'm going to put the armed in first. So that would be disarmed, and that is armed. So you flick the switch, quick push of the scroll button, go across, click one quick click of the button, and then play track. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, they can be a bit of a miss sometimes. Where you're going to find it? No, not that. Play track, yep. And then we're going to go here, and that is going to be armed. Armed, there we go. Okay, and then we return, we can go, that's disarmed. Okay, perfect. Then we go down to special function 4, click once, and this is going to be disarmed. So disarmed position for my switch is up. Click the button again, scroll over, so I play track. Oops, let's go slowly. Play sound, oops, play track, and across, click again, and we're going to go disarmed. Disarm, and then return. So now, if we select disarm motors. Okay, there we go. And as I say, I'm not going to carry on with the rest of them, which is all to do with the dual rates, but it's exactly the same way. You go to the SF5, pick the switch, play track, pick the track you want to play. Okay, now we're going to move on. There's no custom scripts, and in telemetry there will be nothing. Now, the thing we need to set up now is go back to the throttle and set the throttle up correctly. So we are going to go page, and we're going to go through to the inputs, and this is where we need to set up our throttle correctly. The first one we're going to go into is the first throttle line, so long press, edit. Now in here we need to, I'm just going to change this to diff, and then we have to pick the switch. So long click and then go to logical switches, and this should be 2, LO2. And that is everything we need to put into the throttle there. So push return, and then we go down to the second throttle, long press, edit. Here we are going to go down to curve again, click. This time we need to put in there custom. Okay, custom, and then go across, and you are going to pick the custom curve that we set up, which was cut, and you can see the curve shows over it in the window. Then we need to go to switch and logical switch, but this time it has to be active 2. Okay, so that has an exclamation mark in front of it. Let me find that one. And oops-a-daisy, there we go. That's the next setting, and everything should be okay now. So we have now set up everything on the radio that we need to. So I'm going to bind the receiver to the transmitter and then show you that everything is working. Okay, and we'll check that obviously the servos are in the correct, working the correct way. Okay, but there is one thing I wanted to show you. Because the switches are not set up as the standard way, when you close off your radio and then you turn your radio back on, you're going to get a throttle warning all the time.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Or a switch warning.
Switch warning.
Which is irritating. Okay, so the way we sort that out is we put the switch in the position that we want, and we go into the model, scroll down, and you're going to see switch positions there. You highlight that one, hold it, and you'll hear a beep. Now it's set this switch up, the position where that switch needs to be in the correct position when you turn the radio on. So now if we turn our radio off and we put it back on, we shouldn't have that irritating error.
Welcome to OpenTX. Disarm motors.
Perfect, there we go. Let's now bind the receiver to the radio. Now we're going to go into model and we're going to turn the internal module on. There it is, just a click, multi, and we're going to go to Frsky because, okay, that's fine. We are going to use V8 because this is a very old receiver. And then this is already bound to the radio for another model. So all I need to do here now is go to receiver 6 and say yes. And if I plug this in, we should be bound. There we go. As I think you can probably strange. Okay, I know what's going on here now. I need to go down to the frequency. I've got another video for this. This is because the fine-tuned frequency hasn't been set up. And I know for this receiver, it is -35. You'll hear the model stop beeping now. If I go to -35, we should be okay. There we go. Okay, so if you're going to bind your receiver that's already bound to another model, you took it out one model and put it in another one, you can just pick this receiver number up, and then obviously if there was a fine tune, you would have to put that in to make the receiver work. I do have another video of that where you can see where that problem arose on the V8 receivers. Okay, right, now we're on to the next process where we check the direction of the control surfaces, and as you can see the elevator is working the wrong way around. That should be coming up and it's going down. The ailerons, only the left hand aileron is working and it's going the wrong way too, and the right one is not working at all. I won't pick it up to show you the throttle, but the throttle is working correctly. So let's go back to the bench and I will show you how to make those adjustments so all your control surfaces work the right way. Now let's sort out the mixing problems. We go into our model and page until we get to the mixes. Now we should go to elevator, you click and edit, and we should change that to minus. Whoops, I'm a bit too quick at this. Oops, a daisy. Okay, so there we go. You can't see this, but the elevator's going up and it's going down correctly. That's correct. Okay. Now we can return. So that's the elevator. All we needed to do was change the setting from a plus to a minus on the weighting, and that will reverse the servo so that it's working in the correct sense. Now we need to move on to the sorting out the aileron problem. Okay, here we need to switch over these two channels, the rudder and aileron there, so that we can get the ailerons working correctly. I haven't got a rudder on this model, but what I wanted to do was show you how to set up a basic model using the standard settings that come up on the radio. So all I'm going to do is switch these two around, but you could actually unplug the servos on your receiver and swap them over if you were doing a new build, but this one is already bound to my radio as another model, so I don't want to do that. So let me show you how I'm going to do this here. So we're going to change this to the aileron. Let's just make that into a capital. There we go. Okay, now we are going to go down to the source and change that to aileron. You'll hear the model starting to react. Okay. Now we return. Now we need to change this one into rudder. So we're going to go up there. Oops, came out by mistake. Okay, we change this to rudder. Now we switch those channels around, so let's have a look. Okay, now you can't see this, but when I'm putting on right aileron, it's rolling the wrong way, so we have to reverse those, and it's the same as the elevator. We need to swap. Okay, both of them need to be swapped around. Both at the moment they're both on a positive figure for the weighting, so they must have to be both minus figures. So let's have a look. Let's go in, and then you can, as the model's plugged in, I can actually see the result as soon as I put in the figure. Let's have a look. Okay, that's correct. And then we're going to go down to the next aileron in the mix and click there and back minus 100. And they are working perfectly. And there we go. Your model is completely set up. Okay, here we are. Let me show you everything working. We've got up elevator, down elevator, and then the ailerons. We've got bank right, as you can see, and bank left, as you can see, and the motor's disarmed, so I can't throttle it up, but I would have liked to have shown you that the safety throttle is working. Actually, I'll be brave. I'll show you it is working. So if I leave the throttle up and arm, nothing's happening. Okay, so disarm. So everything's working on the aeroplane. Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel, and please share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now.